Welcome to the CIFF Media and the Fashion Forum podcast. Today we're looking at what it really means to support new design talent in fashion, from platforms and programs to the reality of building a sustainable business. Joining me today are Cecilie Thorsmark, CEO of Copenhagen Fashion Week, and Sarah Brunnhuber, the founder of STEM. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you here.
Lovely being back.
Lovely to be here.
Yeah. Cecilie, you placed a strong emphasis on developing design talent, and through Copenhagen Fashion Week, you created both platform and mentorship structures for emerging designers. Maybe you'll start telling us a bit about how the talent program works and also the idea behind it.
Sure. So how it works. No, I guess at Copenhagen Fashion Week, we've always had a keen focus on talent, but it wasn't until June 2022 that we formally introduced a structural scheme, a platform to support the emerging talent that we saw a lot of at Copenhagen Fashion Week, and hence we wanted to be able to offer a platform featuring everything from, a good mentorship framework for the designers enrolled in the program, as well as a monetary bursary, which the designers receive every season as well. Advisors and just access to our network of, great both people, but also resources that can help nurture their businesses at this very early and also very formative stage of the businesses that they're building. So we have 3 designers at a time enrolled in the talent program, and they stay with us for a year and a half, which translates into 3 Fashion Week seasons. After that, they graduate to become alumni of the program, which means that they're still a part of the Copenhagen Fashion Week New Talent network, and they also get access to some of the resources that we have available for them. So that's the program pretty much summed up in a few words, I guess. And we're very lucky to have some great advisors also that support us in developing the program. We have Anne Lynge Jolén from Alpha, who's our advisor and has been since the very beginning, and also Julie Gilhart from the US. So really wonderful duo, constantly supporting us and helping us develop the program. And
And I'm going to ask you later, what do you feel that it gives back to the Fashion Week? But we're going to hold on.
And sorry, I think you also asked, why is it important?
Yeah.
And
of course. It's a very important question.
It's a very important question, and I think it's also very important to delve on a little bit, because I think essentially it's very simple, but the emerging talent is the future of our industry, and I think that comes with that gives us I think we have the obligation to support the next generation of designers. We, and of course, the mentors and the advisors that are part of the program, because, being an established player within the fashion industry means that you have extensive knowledge and experience. And if we can bring that on to these amazing talents, I think that's the best way that we can support and invest in the next generation. Yeah.
And we actually have one from the next generation with us here, Sarah. And you are actually one of the new talents in the Copenhagen Fashion Week New Talent program. So how do you feel that? I mean, how have you felt the support in practice?
Good question. I mean, it's also, I should say, it's early days. So I'm entering my first season, about to show for the first of the 3 seasons that I'm sort of in the program for in a few weeks in January. And it's obviously such an honor to be a part of it. And I feel like being a responsible brand, we're both really aligned on change from within. So I feel like, we're kind of really on the same page with those kind of things. But in terms of how I've experienced it in practice, the mentoring I've already experienced. So there's been a few sessions already, and it's just really great to have access to that experience, as you said, that knowledge and the resources that I otherwise wouldn't. And the sessions are short and sweet, but they're going to be kind of regular every season. So we're going to see how that kind of builds every season. And
But I might add also that you're not completely new to Copenhagen Fashion Week. You have been showing.
True.
Is it 3 times?
Twice now.
Twice now. So does that make a difference also when you talk to your mentor that you have that experience?
Yeah, I think so. I also feel like it's a good moment for me to kind of enter the program. But yeah, as you said, I've shown the last 2 summers and I've been a one-to-watch brand. And with that really came suddenly more eyes and some great press and exposure, which I kind of noticed straight away, and ultimately a wider audience that I otherwise can't really reach. And I think if I really whittle down what I want to do with the brand, it's the message that I'm getting across is for people to engage with production, engage with how things are made, why things are made the way that they are, can things be done differently? And, I might come up with a new way of producing something, but if no one sees it or reads about it, then there's no real impact. So ultimately it's giving me more of a space and a platform to reach.
And maybe if you could just in very short lines describe your brand and what you do.
I can do that. I mean, so I'm a weaver really and a textile designer, and that's really my approach to clothing and fashion, I suppose. And STEM was launched at the end of 2021, and it's based on a zero waste production technique that I developed for woven garments. So I'm basically producing garments in a way that there's no off-cut waste.
And for people watching the video,
I'm wearing a STEM piece. So
some of the idea here.
Yeah. The fringes are an expression of the technique. And I often say form follows technique, in that, they dictate the aesthetic very much. No, sorry, I've lost my train of thoughts.
No, sorry, it was me. But I think that gave, a little bit of the idea that you're working with. Cecilie, maybe you would put a word on the One to Watch program and...
Sure, yeah, that's one thing that I didn't mention. So apart from having 3 designers that take part in the New Talent program, we also spotlight one or multiple designers every season that we sort of put a label on as One to Watch. And it's typically a smaller brand, a brand that is in maybe the very early stages, that we want to give visibility to through Copenhagen Fashion Week. So the brand will have, or the designer will have a presentation, typically, maybe a show. And I think it adds to, I think it's a good complement to the 3 I was going to say established designers in the program. I think it adds to that, also that sense of discovery that a lot of our international guests enjoy, traveling to Copenhagen Fashion Week for. With the talent program, including both the talents and the ones to watch, there's always that chance to, be the one who discovers that new, creative or distinct design, or the one where you spot that there's a potential for something big. So.
And from what I hear you say, Sarah, that was kind of what you felt, that you felt
Yes.
that attention.
Yeah, I definitely did. Suddenly, people wanted to come to the presentation. I noticed it in like people want to intern for the brand. Lots of people want to volunteer on the day, and I feel like it's those little things that signal that they want to be a part of this as well. And I think what you learn from putting anything on during Fashion Week is you can't do it on your own. So,
I imagine.
yeah, so you need that support, and it's really great that people want to like believe in it.
And I actually think there's a duality to that. I think it's one of course, the really great advantages and opportunities of our program that we give so much visibility to the brands. I think, by being a part of Copenhagen Fashion Week or the New Talent program, you are subject to heaps of attention and spotlighting and all of that, because Copenhagen Fashion Week is such a big platform. But it's also a challenge, because we don't only want to give you visibility. We really wish to also give you, resilience and resources and, new tools and great advice, because we know that, in order to be a successful brand or designer in this industry, you cannot just do it off of PR. You really need a good basis or a good foundation for building your business. And we're definitely not, perfect in our program in that aspect yet. We try to provide as many resources and network as possible. But it is, our industry is, it's such a complex and demanding industry to navigate in. And I don't know how you'll ever be, ready to fully navigate in our industry. But I think that's the biggest challenge in our program, is that the visibility, it's a given and it's easy peasy. You'll get that. But it's also a lot of hard work.
Yeah, I imagine, truly. But Cecilie, you also, Copenhagen Fashion Week, also teamed up with CIFF, as we are placed in right now.
Yes.
With things about, things like the showroom, and also like the New Talent Breakfast that is held every season here at CIFF. How do you see that this collab is also helping emerging designers connecting to people in the industry and press and
Yeah. No, first and foremost, I think it's a very fruitful, I want to call it an alliance, because I think alliance is, it really signals how, two different bodies, two different platforms can come together and become that, bridge between what CIFF represents, which is, the great commercial opportunities that lie out here during the trade fair, combined with, the artistic expression that goes on at Fashion Week during the show. So for us to be able to combine those two fields through the partnership with CIFF is super valuable, and it's of course it's something that we showcase during every edition of Fashion Week by placing the showroom out here, and by placing the showroom out here at CIFF during every edition of Fashion Week, the designers should have be more exposed to the traffic of buyers during Fashion Week, rather than before in the past, we had the showroom in various locations in the city. So I really think it's very powerful to be out here. But also in between seasons, CIFF is offering to our talents that they can have a permanent showroom out here or studio out here, free of charge. So that very generous
which I believe
partnership
can be very helpful if you're in a startup situation. Sarah, you held the presentations and shows through these programs, and preparing also another presentation for the upcoming season here in a couple of weeks. What do you feel has been the most valuable part of exposure that you have learned along the way? You might already answered, but maybe
I have like a few things also. I was thinking about what you were saying. I will answer the question. Just that you were saying, you need more than PR. And I feel like starting or having an emerging brand, you feel like you're constantly proving yourself. And so being aligned with the program, being part of the program, just helps others sort of take you more seriously, which you need. You need buyers, you need press, and ultimately your customers to take you seriously for the brand to move forward. So that's also something that you really get out of being here. And that's something I've really noticed. And then, no, I've forgotten the other thing, sorry. But the question was, what have I got out of doing the presentation?
Yes.
I think the presentation, something really clicked for me this summer, that to use the presentation ultimately as an opportunity to engage with the audience to engage with the audience in a way. Sorry, I need to say that again. So doing the presentation during Fashion Week, ultimately it's an opportunity for me to engage the audience with what I believe is to be really important. And ultimately that is engaging them with production and craft. And last season I did a willow weaving workshop during the presentation. So we had the models moving around the space, but some of the guests, or everyone, was actually invited to engage in this willow weaving, which was there to for people to really understand the basics of what weaving is in a really sort of blown up scale, which is this repeated over and under motion. And I think there's something so sort of human and beautiful about sitting around a table and making something together. And that workshop format just worked really well. I didn't know if it would, and I had a really great response. So taking the opportunity to do with Fashion Week what you want to do and to spread the message that you want to.
I think it's super impressive if you have people like sitting down and taking the time, because Fashion Week is just the busiest time, and people are just like, going from show to show to show to show. So I mean, the thing that you did, having people to sit down and actually engage in the craft is impressive. Impressive in itself. Yeah. Do you think it's easy to communicate all that storytelling behind your brand to people?
I think the quick answer is no, I don't think that's easy. I think there's always so much I'm trying to achieve with the brand, so much that I'm trying to communicate. And I often just, I guess the goal is that actually the garments could kind of tell the story I'm telling themselves. They tell this production story that I want to tell. And then suddenly having the opportunity to show during Fashion Week, you can tell that story in a bigger way. But I really hope that during this program, I can continue to kind of streamline those messages. And that's also what the mentoring really offers, is kind of the opportunity to speak to experts on which aspects to focus on, how to kind of get that message really clear. And I'd like to think that I can do that to an extent, but I'm also, just one person right now. And so there's sort of only so much I can do, but
but I've already done a lot, so I'm sure that you will just continue. To get
and I think it's also, I think in this regard, I mean, I think you're so humble because you're not mentioning that you've been awarded, several times, not only, by, being offered a slot in our New Talent program, but you're also the winner of the Westland Fed Fashion Prize a bit more than a year ago, in 24, I believe. And, people are really super impressed by what you do because you have this very, as you also said, innovative take on fashion, on craft, on production, all in one, which I think it really makes you a very distinct player within our industry.
Thank you.
Someone we should be proud of,
sure.
and
for sure.
No, and learn.
Sitting in a nice sandwich now.
Yeah, no,
I'll take it.
no. I mean,
But for
not
sure.
not only. I mean, I'm sure that colleagues of yours can learn from you. That stakeholders like Fashion Week, we can all learn from you, and I think it's a big privilege for us to have you in our program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you have an idea to change the industry.
Yeah.
Not only do something for yourself or your brand, but actually, come up with an idea how to make another kind of production.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is very, I mean, that is something in a world where, most people pushes themselves.
Yeah.
No, I think, it's up to us to create the industry that we want to be a part of. And I haven't spoken about it yet, but I'm trying to start a weaving mill alongside the brand. And that's a big part of the work I'm doing now. And that's also why I won the Vessel and Fett Prize, because everyone on the jury is supporting this huge project that I'm sort of trying to make happen. Because we need to produce something like 75% less as an industry and to reach our climate goals. And that feels really impossible right now with a lot of the systems in place. And I think any brand and any new brand especially has a responsibility to really reflect on why they're doing this and how they're producing. And I think the reason why we have a really sort of disposable fashion culture in many ways is because we are really disconnected from production. And most brands are, not in control of their production. And I really would like to be at the forefront of being a brand that ultimately is. So the mill will kind of run alongside the brand. Yeah.
Cecilie, you have had a focus on sustainability from the beginning since you started in 18 as a CEO of Copenhagen Fashion Week. How do you see, one thing is Sarah, but how do you see the new talent designers fit into that ambition in more general terms?
I think we have a super important mutual relationship, us and the emerging designers. Because I think the new generation has or tend to have sustainability as sort of their default mindset. You're more born with it than the generation that came before you. You have this tendency that you want to challenge the norms regarding production or fabrics or design, consumption also, and that is something that we can all take lessons from. However, being a small business or a new designer, it also requires more than visions and ambitions and will, which you master perfectly. You're obviously a really good example here, but it's also a lot of paperwork and documentation and due diligence and something that really requires a lot of resources and hard work, and that takes time away from being creative and creating. So I think that in turn, I think gives us an important role for the designers that we can support them in understanding what is required.
And even in the mentoring sessions, I've brought up, there are new EU laws coming in, like the DPP, the Digital Product Passports, and also with extended producer responsibility, and that those laws will also apply to small brands. And I think we have a little bit more time to kind of adjust, but I think most of us are not equipped to adapt yet. And so we really need that support to otherwise we won't stick around. So that's also why the program's so useful.
Yeah.
So, So, I mean, you have been one to watch, and now you're a new talent, and you also won the Vessel and Fett. How could, if you could just choose from whatever mentorship programs or help you can get, what could be done more? If I could, I know you, with all respect, but what could be helpful?
I mean, I think the kind of combination of support that you offer is really wonderful. You know, there's some financial support, the mentoring, press, etc.
Yeah.
And
Communication platform.
yeah, and it kind of needs to be systemic, because just offering financial support, as much as that is first and foremost the most important part, because without it, things kind of can't exist. And financial support will give you that time and freedom to explore, try things, and for the brand to evolve. But it really needs to come with support to develop long-term strategies. I think otherwise you become reliant on the support. There kind of needs to be the brand beyond the program. So I think that's really key, is focusing on now, but also kind of investing that support into building on it for the long term, if that makes sense. And I also think where there's like what I'm maybe struggling with is my biggest cost is like my development cost, right? And that's because I'm doing things differently. So for a lot of sustainable brands who are maybe working with different materials or maybe experimenting a lot, that requires a huge amount of investment and resources that is difficult to like sustain. So one thing is sort of supporting the showcase, but also supporting the work itself so that can evolve kind of throughout that time. I feel like that's really key.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're very close to a new season, so I'd like to hear from you both what you're looking forward to. You're of course the boss of it all, but also but you are showing, Sarah. What can we expect, and what do you expect?
Ooh, well, I can plug my presentation now a little bit. I mean, the collection is all about wool, and I can say it's called To Wool, and it has a sort of dual meaning, in that it could be read as like to wool, almost like dear wool, like thank you, because wool is so wonderful, and it has it's so versatile. But then because of that, you could also read it as to wool, kind of like as a verb, as an action, and because it has all these qualities, and I've in the collection kind of worked with wool in a lot of different ways. So that's what you'll be seeing. And I'm hosting a workshop together with a studio here called Hellestrick, who do a lot of wool-based workshops, and a lot more people can be involved. So it's open to anybody that wants to join. So I hope you'll come.
Sounds great.
Yes, it's going to be wonderful.
Wow.
Good.
And Cecilie, I know you never you pick your babies, but
Reveal a favorite?
No, I would never ask that. But what you're going to host the beginning of your 20th anniversary, with a major party and a major year coming up. But also you host the talent breakfast out here at CIFF. What do you look forward to?
No, so I mean we have plenty of incredible activations during the upcoming Fashion Week, and as you mentioned, our 20th anniversary is of course it's a big theme, and we're obviously planning our 20th anniversary is a big theme and a big thing for us right now, since we're planning the big anniversary dinner party, which I think is a really nice occasion to reflect on both the past and the present and the future of Copenhagen Fashion Week. But regarding CPHFW New Talent, to me, a Fashion Week is, it's the physical touch point that we have with the brands that are part of the talent program. So seeing your presentations and your shows, visiting you at the showroom, and celebrating together with you during the breakfast that takes place out here at CIFF. It's just a really great moment to be together around this platform that it's a scheme that we can all read about, and as you said, it's it's a structured platform and everything, but being together around it it's wonderful.
I think I will round up now, unless you have anything else to add. But thank you so much, and I will really look forward to see you both. We work together, Cecilie, but I would, love to see the presentation that you're doing, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And of course, we'll see each other out here at CIFF.
Yes,
we will. Thank you so much.
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.